This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 656 for May 18th, 2020. Guide button, roulette.
Round and round and round it goes.
Bets are off, nobody wins.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpear.
Bonjour, mon ami.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
A quick plug here again for TVGP's Critical Misses, the brand new show Moonpear and I are doing, where we're going through all the hits we've missed. Season 1 is us going through the Fast Saga, and we just finished recording Furious 6, the movie of many names. So that one still needs to be edited, but that one is about ready to be scheduled. And we have the first episode available for patrons over at patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. It's available at the $2 a month level, but the $5 a month level is the recommended one because it gets you everything like Old Dog New Flicks and early access to Outcast, the uncensored pre-show stuff, and it's the whole package. I should call that tier the whole package, but I don't. It's called, I think, my turret Patreon. So patreon.com/E1M1, get all the cool stuff. We recorded the episode for Furious 6 is like well over an hour.
Yeah, we recorded it yesterday after Game Club because ain't no way we're fitting that in 30 minutes.
No, yeah. So for anyone that's curious, we usually, the reason why we do two parts is because we have about a half an hour when Moon and I hop on before we do We Roguelike It, and that was not fitting in there at all, because
nope,
a lot to talk about with that movie, and we definitely covered it all. So patreon.com/E1M1, go sign up there. Episode 1's available. I think episode 2 comes out this week, if I remember correctly. So go over there and start.
I don't know. I'm a patron and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm both a patron and a host, and I don't know.
It would be nice if Patreon would let me at least have like a calendar of upcoming content where you could say like, hey, this thing's coming on Tuesday, this thing's coming on Wednesday. That'd be great. But anywho, let's talk about what you've been playing this past week, Moonpear.
Okay, so we're going to start with... which one do we start with? Start with the one that I'm assuming Boston's been playing as well, because he has been for the past 2 weeks, and him talking about it made me want to play it.
Okay.
Animal Crossing?
No. Please. We have one Switch in this household. If you think I'm getting even a sniff at my wife's island, you've gone insane.
That's right. I haven't even seen that Switch.
No. Literally, since she got Animal Crossing, I don't think I have. I've seen the Pro Controller that she bought to play Animal Crossing with.
There you go.
But I've not seen the Switch. So, no, it's 2 Point Hospital.
I have a story about this game this week, but I will let you go first.
So you talking about it actually made me realize I should probably keep playing that rather than just play 10 minutes of it and stop.
That's right.
So I played it a lot.
Okay.
And I got up to the 4th hospital.
Okay. Is that the training one?
That's the teaching hospital, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's real difficult.
That is really, it's super hard immediately because you're like, oh, I'll just hire a bunch of people. No, they don't know anything. Oh no, this really is a training hospital.
So I started out on that level and I literally built 3 GP's offices straight away because I keep running into the thing where, hey, I start with one GP's office and then there's a queue of 20 people, so then I have to build a second one and a third one.
Yep.
So now I'm pre-planning a little bit better. So on the long, narrow corridor on that map, I had 3 GP's offices, 3 general diagnostics right over the road from it, right over the corridor. I had that main building as my diagnostic building.
Yep.
And then I bought another lot and have that be my treatment building and then expand as needed and move things around.
That's what I do. I have my treatment stuff the furthest possible from diagnostics because basically they go to get treated and then no matter what happens there, they leave the hospital. So you don't have to worry about them getting grumpy about having to come back anywhere. They get healed or not healed or die, and then that's their final destination.
Really?
In some ways.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
But no, I started doing that. And I did. It's got the really clever feature, which is you can close rooms. So, like, I started with the 3 GPs officers, close 1, close 2 general diagnostics. When I started, I didn't have a psychiatry. I didn't have any of that stuff. It was give me diagnostics, give me a pharmacy.
So your basics.
People.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna let it roll like that for a while. And anybody who comes in with stuff I don't have the ability to immediately heal, it'll pop up with that message saying, "Oh, this person's got the panhead things." Like, I'm not spending 21 grand just for you to get healed, so you go away from my hospital, please. And I just send them home.
I need 2 or 3 people, and then I'll build one.
Yeah, so I'm very
pandemic
slowly
lab.
but surely, yes, I've slowly but surely started doing that. I'm at that point now where that hospital for me is now a 2-star hospital, and I'm working on getting up to 3 stars.
Nice.
Which takes a whole bunch of research points.
Yes. Yeah.
So I had a quick check because I thought it would be clever for them to do this. But when you go into the research lab, you can actually increase the number of doctors that can be assigned in that room.
Mm-hmm.
So I now have 2 researchers in there doing that stuff. Meanwhile, I'm teaching my general physicians, like, I've got like 6 doctors, and I'm now starting to specialize. I actually have like 12, but I've got 6 doctors who have like 3 of them are like level 3 general GP room things,
right?
And 3 and like 2 who are level 3 in psychiatry, and then I've got 3 other spare doctors who are 2 and 2. So they have 2 GP,
they
2
can float
psychiatry.
around. Right.
So they can go and cover the rooms, and because you can go into the staff options and you can say, don't ever go into a treatment room. You're a GP or a psychiatrist. That's it. That's all you do. That is your job. Don't go and remove a panhead.
That's one of the smartest things they've done in this game, because you can say, I have trained you as a level 5 GP doctor. I only want you working in a GP office because you're not going to be good at anything else. These are the offices you work on, or like your 2 and 2 guys, where it's like you can work in either one of these, but don't bother going into the clown clinic because you're not good at treatment. I'm gonna train up somebody else with treatment. They'll go over there. They'll be good at that.
Yep, and that's exactly what I've done. I've got basically the way I've done it is I've got enough staff to overage 1. So I've got 3 GPs officers and 4 people who can do the GP stuff.
Yeah.
I've got 2 psychiatrists and 3 or 4 who can do the psychiatrist thing. And then I've got like 5 treatment rooms, and I've got 4 doctors who can do treatments, because the likelihood of having someone need the pan removed and the clown thing and something else done all at the same time is very unlikely.
Yeah.
So I run 1 lower on that, and then I do the same thing for the nurses. I've got 2 nurses who specialize in the ward. I've got 1 ward right now, but a ton of beds. So 2 nurses who specialize in the ward. One of them also specializes in diagnostics. So when the nurse who specializes in the ward is on break, the one who's doing diagnostics in the cardio place moves and goes into the ward while the other one takes the break, and then they switch out. I'm starting to fine tune it to try and minimize everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And also, I did go into the hospital, like the rules thing.
The policies, that was what I was going to ask you about, yeah.
Yes, to stop them from sending them back to the GPs when the treatment has already been diagnosed. It's like, no, if this is the treatment, go and get treated. Stop going back to the GP just so you can, like, get told to go somewhere else. Because I've now got 4 GPs officers, and there's 8 people outside all of them at all times.
Yeah, I actually check all the checkboxes in there, including the one that auto promotes staff. Because it's like, look, I'm going to give you the bare minimum of pay increases anyway. Just handle it for me. One of the things that I've been doing lately that's helped me a lot, actually, is for like psychiatry in the ward, you can turn on and off whether you want it to do both diagnosis or treatment, or like one or the other.
Yes.
I've been building 2 wards with at least one nurse in each. One is diagnosis only, and that's in my diagnosis wing. One is
one for
treatment
treatment.
only, and that has like 2 nurses, and that's super far away. That has helped my bottleneck quite a bit.
Yeah, because it's funny because looking at my like layout right now, it's like a swarm of ants around the diagnostics section, specifically the GP's office and the general diagnostics, and then everywhere else it's like it's nice and spacious, it's nice and orderly.
There's one
and stuff
dude
like
over
that.
here.
And it's like,
Yeah.
cool, everything's running fine. And then I scan back to that original area and just like, oh no, nothing is fine.
Something is
Everything is
literally on
ruined.
fire. Do you have the fluid analysis room yet?
Just unlocked that today,
Okay.
just before I came up to start recording, which I had to buy, and I didn't have to, but I bought another lot right next to the diagnostic building,
Yeah.
so I can expand it that way, because I've already bought a different lot and half filled it with more treatments next to the treatment building. So I had to buy that and expand that way instead.
Yeah, fluid analysis, when you get that machine upgraded, sometimes it will be the only diagnosis place that someone goes to, and it'll get them like 75% by itself. Like, that machine
Nice.
is very strong.
So I might end up actually building 2 of those then, and I'll
Yeah.
have to see if there's a skill specifically for that room.
I think that's a
check if it's a nurse or a doctor.
I think that's a nurse place, and I think that if someone's trained in diagnosis, that's what benefits that room.
Okay, so I might just jump on there and do that then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 2 Point Hospital. It's so much fun to play.
It's really good. Yeah. And like, I'm getting to the point now where I'm like putting hand sanitizer and a coffee machine in everybody's room to keep them a little bit healthier and keep them working a little bit longer, and that has helped a ton.
Yeah, hand sanitizer goes in every room for me at this point.
Yep.
I also unlocked the Gold Star plaque.
Yes.
Which, if you are ever trying to get you're like just on a nubbin between like Prestige 3 and 4 or 4 and 5, throw a couple of Gold Star plaques on the wall and you'll be
they're
fine.
cheap enough. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a real interesting week in 2 Point Hospital because I made it to, like the 9th or so hospital, and this hospital sucks.
Is this the one that went wrong immediately?
No, that hospital that I posted on Twitter, that was a slow death over many hours. I barely escaped that one with 2 stars. The one hospital that's like a challenge hospital, kind of like the teaching one, you don't get any money for diagnoses or treatment or vendors. You only get money by completing challenges that the local government is giving you, where it's like, I need you to upgrade a machine, we'll give you $50,000. I need you to train a person,
wow.
we'll give you $35,000. So you're juggling that along with trying to keep your hospital afloat at the same time, and that one is really tough. The real bummer of it is I was playing and my game crashed, like it hard crashed and did the report a problem thing, which has not happened in a really long time. And I can't think of when this has happened another time this generation. My save file got corrupted.
Ooh.
So I lost everything.
Oh no.
So I started back over.
2 Point
Yep.
Hospital experience.
You're playing on PC, correct?
I'm playing on PS4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a known bug where that was causing issues.
Yeah. And
People on the Xbox have solved that by basically, if that happens, you just immediately like disconnect from the internet and do the cloud sync.
sure. Which
Like
was
delete your local save file and sync it from the cloud option.
that was the thing I was going to do, but I keep forgetting because I'm library sharing with my wife's PS4. The PS4 that I'm playing on is not my primary PS4. It's hers.
Yep.
So cloud saves don't happen automatically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a cloud save.
Yep.
So, but the benefit is those dozens of hours that I've played already, I am motoring
smash
through. Yeah, I'm already on the 4th hospital now after a handful of hours because I'm just like, all right, I have GP's office, diagnosis. Like, I've got all my stuff. I've got all the check boxes checked, and I'm turning off diagnosis in the psychiatry office because I'm not doing that. Like, got all the stuff figured out so I can kind of motor right through there. But I was telling my wife that, and she goes, "Oh, that really sucks. So you're done playing the game?" And I was like, Nope. Hopping right back in. Like, I think if you want a better indication, I can't give you a better indication of how much I like Two Point Hospital than I've probably played for about 30 or 40 hours, and I'm starting back over pretty happily.
The same thing happened to me with Sleeping Dogs. I was going for the 100% achievement, and I got to 98.7%, and then my save file got corrupted on the 360, so there was no coming back from that.
Right.
And then I played the whole thing over again.
Yeah. 2 Point Hospital is really good. I can't recommend it enough for anyone that's listening. It's on Game Pass for PC.
Especially if you're a fan of Theme Hospital.
Yeah, and what I think is really interesting is comparing it to Theme Hospital. Theme Hospital could be a little bit mean, where sometimes we'd be like, hey man, you got 15 people that are just coming on in for this one treatment room you have. Good luck. This 2 Point Hospital at least will say like, hey, we've got 7 people that need the pandemic room. You have 1 or in your hospital. You want to bring them in? Here's the benefits. You can say no, and there won't be any consequences. So it's kind of nicer in that regard.
And not to mention how user friendly everything is. Like all of the quality of life improvements are insane. Like, here is a pop up. This guy could be promoted, but you need to train him.
Yep.
And when you do train him, he will get promoted, and these are the benefits they will get. And the difference between like a junior doctor or nurse and one of like the highest ranked ones is insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I got one janitor who's got 3 different tiers of the mechanic perk, so he repairs stuff. His repair speed is 422%.
Yeah, it's crazy. He goes in there and he like hits it with a hammer.
Walks up to a toilet and just goes bink, and it's done.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
One of my favorite quality of life things in here is that you're able to copy rooms. So, like, the very first GP's office I build, it's a 3x3 square, and I put all the stuff in there in the perfect orientation, and then I can just copy that.
Whatever you want it to be. And
it gets like tier 3 or 4, and I just copy. And the amount of time that saves is incredible. And you can copy...
Same with moving them. Because... I think my pharmacy was in my diagnostic place at first on this hospital I'm currently on. And I literally was like, okay, I need that space now for this new room I've just unlocked. So I'm just going to pick up that room, move it to my treatment center, plop it down right there, and then immediately replace that room with something else. And it does my favorite thing. You can build the room, and if there's someone there, when you hit confirm, it just scoots them out the way. It doesn't say you can't place it because there's someone standing there.
It just like ejects them. It's really, no matter what is happening, it gets rid of them. It's really, 2 Point Hospital's really good. Yeah.
So currently it's on sale on PlayStation 4 for $29.99 until May 20th.
Yeah, it's.
I knew I had seen it on sale recently.
Yeah, and incredibly, it works really well on controller. Which is impressive.
Yep. The amount of stuff they've done to this game since Theme Hospital is insane, and full credit to them. I kind of need this right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not managing a hospital, but a nice, good simulation management game like this is kind of right up my alley. And
it's the right amount of stressful. Like, each level isn't a cakewalk. Like, you still have to manage, and you're spinning a lot of plates at the same time, but it's never that stressful. It's never, even if you fail a hospital, like I failed a hospital or two where you get minus $300,000 in the bank, it just closes the hospital and you just start back over. It says, no big deal, this happens, just try again.
Yeah, and the big thing as well is, like, it is, like you said, it's always, some part of it is always busy, but, like, right now, for me, it's like, okay, my diagnostics ward on this hospital is insane, and it has that ant nest quality to that section, but that's fine. because they can do all the stuff they need to do there, and then they can go elsewhere and take care of anything else.
Yeah.
So just deal with it. That's fine. I don't care. I've got a prestige level 6 training room here. Go and train.
Right.
Get everything done so I can move. I'm having issues with the receptionist pod.
I stopped building them. It's so finicky.
Finicky is the right word for it. It's like, why can't I place this here? Like, whatever. It may be bugged or something right now. I don't know.
It needs like so much clearance on every side. What I've actually been doing is at every doorway for treatment wing or for diagnosis wings, I just put a receptionist desk.
Yeah.
For each building. So like between 2 buildings, I might have 5, but they're never busy, and someone can go on break, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, a 2 Point Hospital is great. I love
Yep.
2 Point Hospital. It's kind of what I needed right now. I continue to play Streets of Rage 4.
Oh yeah.
I beat the game with Blaze.
Nice.
I have now unlocked the original trilogy sprites
Okay.
for the 3. And I have unlocked Streets of Rage 2 Max original sprite.
Nice.
So the boss fight you have in this game, spoiler alert, Max is a boss in this game.
Mhm.
I have unlocked him as the pixelated version of himself.
That's great.
I was talking to a friend of the show, Rob, about this, and I'm hoping that if it continues the way it's going, the 3rd unlock for Streets of Rage 2 should be Wheels.
Oh, right. That would be really good.
So I'm hoping to get a pixelated version of Wheels as like my 3rd unlock.
Yeah.
So I beat the game with her. Now I just started it as Cherry.
Yeah, I played as Cherry a little bit, and that is different but fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean the thing, like, you're laughing at him, but like the Street of Rage characters always played the same. Everyone does the jump flip. Everyone does the back back suplex.
A lot of kicking.
Yeah, everyone has the same basic moves. She has the same basic strike moves, but her backflip is actually jumping and sitting on their face, and then you don't
Like
suplex
kicking
them.
off.
You just punch them in the face a whole bunch, and then
Yeah.
do like this Hurricane Rana and flip them over.
And she's swinging around a guitar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Her star move is actually her doing a Scott Pilgrim and like standing there just going bow, and then these music notes come out and hit everybody.
A much heavier feeling swing on her heavy too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her jumping attack is interesting because she can bounce off someone's head.
Yeah.
So I've got a rather stupid clip of me fighting a boss, jumping on a face, punching him, Hurricane Runner, and jumping off somebody else's head, knocking them down, landing on a third person, punching them in the face a bunch, and then Hurricane Runner them, and hitting the boss with them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on, but it's cool, and I like it.
It's cool, and I did it.
Yes, but I mean, so far she's interesting. I'm very curious to see what the dude with the giant robot arms is going to play like.
Yeah, because I wasn't expecting Cherry to play any differently, and I keep looking at that 4th guy and be like, yeah, I need to try that dude out.
Yeah, hopefully, I wonder if he's just hopefully, because the reason why I played as Axel first is because he's got the most range, which from the looks of it, his pixelated thing seems to have even more range than he does.
Ooh.
So I'm very interested in that aspect. But I'm curious if this guy is just going to be like a Mike Hagar, where he's got huge range and just like downs people in like 3 hits.
Yeah, but he can't jump or something.
Yeah, I know I'm cross-referencing my side-scrolling beat 'em ups there, but that's fine. You get the reference. That's the most important thing. But no, I mean, Streets of Rage 4 continues to be incredible.
Yeah.
I got the family reunion achievement, which is hilarious. It's not related to any actual family or people in the game. Have you made it to the art museum level where you're going through the art museum? Okay,
No.
then I won't say anything because it's hilarious. But I got that. Played through a little bit more. I'm just enjoying a good side scroll and beat 'em up. And then like I was looking through my games list and it's like, oh, there's 5 side scroll and beat 'em ups I haven't played yet because I wasn't in the mood for it.
Right.
And now I don't need them anymore because I've got Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah. Another Game Pass game.
Yes. So yes. I'm going to officially put the Game Pass stamp on Streets of Rage 4 and 2 Point Hospital.
That's right. Double
They
Game Pass.
Definitely give them a shot.
Yeah.
My third game this week, funnily enough, is another Game Pass game called Totally Reliable Delivery Service.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is the one that has the humans fall flat physics.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that you can play online. This is the one that is a complete cluster from the second you jump in to the second you jump out.
I love it.
I like it. It's improved considerably from the fact that my wife keeps just losing it while we're playing it.
Because you guys liked Human Fall Flat, right?
We did.
Yeah.
As weird as this is going to sound, Human Fall Flat feels a hell of a lot more polished than this does.
Okay. That's not what I was expecting. Okay.
Yes. The grappling mechanics in Human Fall Flat make sense. The controls are very easy to and simple to understand. This is different because you don't have a raise arms and then grab. You've got to grab and then raise your arms. It's very strangely done.
Okay.
It's basically just a big giant open world. You hit these levers on these boxes and it gives you a mission and you have to go and deliver something. And then it'll be like, okay, take this box to this security station, whatever. Or it'll be, this item is fragile. Take it halfway across the map and deliver it to this location. But if you drop it too many times, your gold, silver, or bronze trophy goes down because the fragility is wearing out. It's much more difficult to fly a helicopter in this control scheme.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, I don't. And there's planes and conveyor belts that you have to launch packages into targets, which are halfway up a building, and it's just like,
jeez.
I don't think I ever want to touch this game by myself. The thing that made this fun was the fact that we were basically role-playing as a delivery company, and our friend Em literally created her character and then called her Karen, so you can guess where that went.
Wow.
Right.
And I love you, Em, but you don't get to literally take the box from me and put it in the delivery chute and then claim full credit for the delivery like a Karen would.
Yeah. So she's just playing a character, man.
She is.
Yeah.
Successfully, because she was constantly complaining about human resources.
Perfect.
It sounds like she's got the character down pat. So
Yeah.
She does. I will not pass judgment on her character, but she definitely does.
Yeah.
But she also has to deal with Karens regularly. She has a forward-facing job very much like me, where you're interacting with the quote-unquote customers.
Yes.
And they're just complete D-bags because people are monsters.
Yep.
But no, Totally Reliable Delivery Service is fun in the stupidest ways it's fun, and frustrating in the stupid ways that it's frustrating. Very much like Humans Fall Flat and all of these games of this kind. It can be hilarious, and it can be the most frustrating thing on the planet at the same time.
Yeah.
So play at your will/leisure, but I do recommend you bring a friend along, just so that you can have them hang from the bottom of a helicopter and drop a box into a hole for you.
Right.
Because why not?
Yeah.
It makes sense that way.
Yeah.
But no, Humans Fall Flat, it's pretty fun. And the final thing I played this week, shockingly enough, is the thing I usually talk about first, is Dead by Friday. The thing I'm talking about this week because we had a bit of a showcase. Justin, Jason, Rob, friends of the show, Jess, my wife, Em, and also other friend Britt showed up. So we had a 7-pack for a 5-man game.
I was going to say, that's too many people.
Yeah.
Yep. First time Britt has ever played. Em is the squealer of the group. So it became really interesting really quick when you get 2 people squealing at the same time. Hilarity ensued. But we played private matches, which is you don't gain blood points and nothing like that. It's literally just all of the characters are unlocked. You get every single perk unlocked, every single item unlocked, stuff like that.
It's your training ground.
Yeah, it's your training ground. You practice whatever. You play it around. You mess around with your friends. We did institute the M rule this week, which is no equipping any ultra rare items, such as the thing that stops the bing bong from happening when you play as the Wraith, for example.
Right. Just a little bit of sportsmanship.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Emerald for a
Right.
reason, because she's the queen of being a troll sometimes.
Right.
So the way we ended up doing it was there was just 5 of us. I'd roll a d5. Literally on my phone, I would pull up the dice website and just hit 1d5 and then roll it. And whatever order they were in the party, that person was the killer.
Oh, okay.
And then we had 7 people. So it became a case of, well, how are we going to do this? So we all backed out. I would start the lobby, go to the party menu, hit invite party, and then it would be a case of guide button roulette. Whoever gets there first, gets there first.
It's just a foot race.
Nice.
And full credit to T for calling it that, by the way, because it's just like, as soon as I said, you know what, I'll just hit invite and whoever gets it, gets it. And he was like, oh, the old guide button roulette. Okay, we'll do that. Clearly, T has experience with this.
Right.
Because I've never even thought of that before, but it works out nicely because anybody who joins in after the fact can spectate because it has a spectate
Cool.
feature in
I was
that
going to ask
mode.
that. Yeah. That's good.
Especially for the new people, like you can sit there and watch what the more experienced players are doing. You can see how they act, how they react, and stuff like that.
And you don't have to just sit there and watch your dashboard being like, boy, that match sounds like fun, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So we had a pretty good night. Played all the way through until like 12:30, and then I had to call it because the game was starting to get a little funky with its slight minor issues here and there. And also it was 12:30 and I was exhausted, so I went to bed. And then everybody else pretty much stayed up and played Call of Duty. So it went Dead by Friday, Call of Saturday again.
There you go.
So went pretty well. Had a whole bunch of laughing. Again, if you're interested in Dead by Friday, feel free to hit me up. It doesn't have to be a Friday. We can play whenever. If you are new to the game, don't be afraid. We can teach you. We can show you the way, young Padawan. But no, it's fun. I had a good time, and that's all I've been playing, Mr. Nip.
Yep. I haven't played Jack.
I like that game. I'm wearing a t-shirt from that game that I can't actually show on stream.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I played Code Vein pretty much nonstop all this week. The last area that I was in that I didn't know the name of was called the Cave of, or I guess the Ashen Cavern. The levels are getting slightly shorter because I'm getting to the end of the game. So some of them, you've got maybe 20, 30 minutes in it, depending on how you go.
I like that it's taking the inverse of a JRPG, where it's like, no, the dungeons are getting shorter the longer you get in.
Well, the last 2 that I've been in all of a sudden got really, not like longer, it's not like the longest dungeon, but they've gotten longer as I've progressed. But this is basically the notes of everything I've done this week.
Okay.
I've cleared the Ashen Cavern. I've cleared the City of Fallen Flame, which is basically the floor is lava and there's fire everywhere, so you're constantly taking damage if you're not paying attention. I cleared the Crown of Sand, which anytime you step in sand, certain types of sand, it slows you down and it drains your Ichor, which is basically your ability, MP, whatever you want to call it. I cleared the Crypt of Spire. I cleared the Provisional Government Outskirts. I cleared the Provisional Government Center. And I am currently in the Jail of Stagnant Blood.
Wait, one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah. Also, just for the record, the longest dungeon sounds like a really good roguelike game.
Yes.
So, yeah, I went hardcore this week with this game.
Putting in work.
I also have there are depth maps. So on top of just the regular areas that you can go into from the hub, there are also depth maps, which are just tiny little dungeons that you can go into, so you can do like item grinding and stuff, and they've got their own bosses and waves and stuff.
The old item world.
Yeah. And I think I have unlocked the last depth that you get in the game, and I just received the 3 DLC depths, which a buddy of mine had told me don't even bother looking at those right now because you are not ready for that.
Oh, yeah.
And I said challenge accepted and got halfway through one of the DLC maps and could not do anything.
Oh,
yep.
So I was like, well, I got further than I expected I was going to get, but yes, I will not be doing this right now.
Right.
So But yeah, I feel like I'm at the end of the game pretty much. The story's wrapped up. You were shown the big baddie.
Mm-hmm.
I have already killed the big baddie.
Oh.
But there are other things that are happening, and it has basically kind of opened up the world. I can't explore it, but a lot more of the story around the world is like all of a sudden opened up, and you got like this crazy glimpse into what's happening past the barrier.
Oh, cool.
And that looks really sweet. And I'm hoping, obviously I don't know how the game ends because I had to stop, but I'm hoping that they make a second one and that it's around that, because that would be awesome.
Because I think this game sold pretty well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's despite everyone complaining on the internet about how this isn't a true Souls game, it's just people being gatekeepers,
right?
And it's the same people that it's like, oh, you haven't really beaten a Souls game unless you're on your 99th New Game Plus, and you've run the entire game with no weapons and no armor,
right? A no-hit
just
run.
Idiots.
Yeah.
But I had to stop playing in the area that I was in because for the first time that I can remember, there's an actual trap in this game.
Oh.
And I kept getting hit by the stupid trap, so I was trying to figure out what was triggering it, and I think I got hit by this thing 3 or 4 times before I realized that there was a pressure plate on the floor.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm tired and I need to shut this off. So I finished clearing out that area, unlocked the shortcut, and then that's where I'm at. According to a buddy of mine who's already beaten the game, he says that I've got a mini boss and another boss.
Oh.
And that should be it.
Nice.
So I'm like right there, and I really want to play it, but I was just too stupid tired to keep going. There's going to be nothing but issues. And I haven't really been grinding a whole lot because I got all the gifts that I wanted up to this point, and I'm at the point where everything drops haze, which is basically your souls.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, I was running around with like 1.5 million haze.
Jeez.
And just not caring because I've got all my old soul skills back.
Oh, yeah.
So usually I can run in there and kill a boss in one go now, maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
The one last boss that I fought, I think I had to do it twice. There was another boss before that where for the first time you're fighting 2 things at once. It's usually always just, you, your partner, and then the boss. This one, there were 2 of them, and one was close combat and the other one was ranged. And that sucked. And that took a lot of maneuvering. And one of them's ice and one of them's fire. And of course, because it's ice, it slows you down if you get hit by it. So then that opens you up to the ranged person. There's nowhere for you to hide. And like I said, I am still running the 2-handed class that I made. So I'm not made for mobility. I am made to take damage. But there is only so much damage I can take.
Right.
So I'm going to beat that this week.
Nice.
And I kind of have the itch and might jump back into Bloodborne afterwards.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, because I'm pretty far into that and I need to beat that still.
Yeah.
But the reason why I've been so short on games this week is because the PS4 version of Minecraft came in for my kids. Yeah, for my kids. You don't really have to write it because I didn't play it.
Sure.
But basically what's been happening is my kids don't have their own accounts on the PlayStation. So my son has been using my wife's account, and I didn't think about this until my daughter said that she wanted to play. I'm like, well, crap, I'm not making you an account either. So I've been letting her play on my account so they can both play online. And it's awesome to see how much this game has changed because my kids have only been playing the 360 version.
Oh, right.
And the PS4 version is basically a completely different game with the same skin.
That's super cool for them, though, where it's like, here's Minecraft. Everything's new. Have fun.
Yeah, they both spent about a good hour and a half making their own characters.
That's cool.
They have a create a character in there. So my daughter was in there messing around with that, trying to make the perfect little mermaid-looking character. And then she got bored of that and decided to model a character after herself. So, yeah, I'm like, whatever, kid. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they had, for the first time, they actually had somebody come into their own game because they just left it open. So there was just another person in there that was just helping them build, and they didn't chat or anything because I don't let them chat online.
No, God, no.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Exactly. But I mean, like, they were just helping each other out, and the person built them this big house and got them a bunch of furniture and stuff, and gave them a wolf or something to mess around with, and so they were real happy.
Here, I gave you a box with holes in it. Oops, it's a wolf.
Yeah. But since they've been playing that on my account as well, I can't play my PS4.
Oh.
So I switched over to my Xbox One, and I have realized that I've beaten pretty much every game on my Xbox One right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you about a little thing called Game Pass.
No, I'm not looking for new games right now, because that was the other thing too. I did look at Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, nothing really looks terribly interesting to me, you know. Then I looked on the store just to see if anything was on sale, and I swear I spent like 2 hours just looking at video games. I'm like, none of this looks interesting. And it's not that it's because it's on Xbox, it's because anything that I wanted to play, I already have on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Or I have already bought it and I've already beaten it.
Yeah.
So it's like it is a wasteland right now for me. And I didn't necessarily want to buy a brand new game. I was just seeing what was on sale.
Looking for a $20 thing instead of a $60 thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was playing Lost Odyssey.
Oh. There you go.
This game, even though the aspect ratio and everything is old,
mm-hmm.
and it still emulates the 360 on your Xbox One, which I think is really funny that I can pull up the Blade system on my Xbox One.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Even with all that, this game still looks fairly decent.
Yeah.
And the voice acting is not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not get terribly far into it because I had a bunch of real life crap that I had to take care of. I actually started streaming it the first time and could only play it for half an hour because then my parents' car broke down and then they called me, so I had to go help them fix that. That was a fun thing.
There you go.
But yeah, so I am at the point where they are going to send me to the magic staff.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think it's really funny that they keep calling it a staff and they keep making it sound like it's an actual staff that you hold. It is not. It is this massive facility in the middle of this ocean that you go to.
Yep.
And I remember this because I've beaten this game. I just never beat the DLC for it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because that DLC like spikes in difficulty real fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's funny that since I've already beaten this game, I already know who the bad guys are.
Yeah.
So I've got that, and just seeing you get introduced to a bad guy real early, and it's real apparent that this is the bad guy.
He's twirling his mustache. It's like, wait a minute, how did I not see that?
He's always giving the side eye to people and stuff, and it's like, man, you are doing some crazy stuff that nobody knows about right now.
That's right.
But the story, for those of you that don't know, you play as a character who is an immortal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually awesome because they made a new system for this so that if your character dies in battle, they're only dead for I think like 2 turns or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they self-revive. So as long as you keep your party alive, your immortals will come back.
Mm-hmm.
And you eventually get human characters where if, they die in battle, you'll have to actually res them to bring them back. But I always thought the battle system, especially with the rings, where you have to hold down the trigger and then release it at the right time, you get like perfect good hits and all that stuff. I always thought the system that they made around this game was really cool, and I'm actually kind of disappointed that we never... I mean, we saw... There's always been, in JRPGs, button inputs for battle systems depending on what you're playing.
Yeah.
But I always thought the immortal system that they had in this game was something that was really cool and unique that you just never saw again.
Yeah.
So I am working on my way to the magic spear, or not, good grief, the magic, what do I call it?
Staff?
Staff,
Yeah.
the thing.
Right.
The thing
big
that's
thing.
not really the thing.
Yeah.
And I've also met the other immortal who will join your party.
Yeah.
And they are getting ready to head out, and that's where I had to cut it off.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah, I really like the game still, and I'm really, really impressed with how good that game still looks.
Yeah.
Because it is the 360 version of the game. They've never done an HD remake or touched it up or anything. This is just straight that game from way back when.
Yep.
And it's pretty awesome. So if anyone else is looking for a weird kind of janky JRPG
4-disc
to play.
JRPG.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's not really janky. It's just it did have issues in the beginning that I don't think they ever patched out. Like my first couple minutes into the game, my game hard locked.
Oh wow.
And I don't know if that was an emulation issue, with the Xbox One and the 360, because I haven't played that many 360 games on the console.
Right.
So I don't know if it was that issue or if this was one of the other issues, because it used to hard lock on you every once in a while back in the day. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's all I've been playing this week. Just taking a stroll down memory lane. What about you, Boston?
Boy, I have not played a lot in general this week. I've been playing some more Animal Crossing, but it's Animal Crossing.
If you know, you already know. If you don't know, then you're not interested.
Yeah, like my big milestone this week is I built the campsite, so random villagers can come visit my island, and I can decide whether or not to bring them in. I didn't realize that the first person that visits your campsite is someone you have to invite onto your island. The guy who visited me sucks.
Is it Jitters?
No, it's that I posted it on Twitter. It's that real jerky, the penguin who looks real shifty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He is not
don't
great.
Talk about shifty looking penguins in front of him, dude. Surely you know better than that.
That's right.
And I know all about the shifty penguins.
That's right. I don't think this guy explodes, but I mean, I'll find out, I guess. But yeah, he unfortunately has to join my island. But now I'm able to build, I'm able to put down plots of land for houses, additional houses. So now I can go back out to the randomly generated islands and see if I can find some villagers I like. So
you know what you have to do with this penguin?
What's that?
You have to become best friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to change his catchphrase to "dude," and then you have to kick him off your island and then see where he shows up.
That's right. See who I can send him off to.
You can get all kinds of crazy Disgaea stuff in Animal Crossing right now.
Oh yeah,
you can get all kinds of crazy everything in that game.
Yeah. So I'm still having a lot of fun. I am catching a bunch of new fish and bugs and all the fossils and stuff. Like a lot of it is me figuring out my first Animal Crossing game. So I'm just kind of having fun playing a little bit every day, and teaching my kid about all sorts of fish and bugs and stuff that Blathers teaches me at the museum, because she and I play it together a lot. And so far, Blathers is her favorite character. I think just because she likes saying Blathers. So who knows?
Until KK Slider shows up, but is like she enjoying watching it, like, and seeing all of the cuteness going on at the same time.
Yeah, and she likes directing me to do certain things where it's like, hey, there's a hole over there, don't forget to dig it so you can get a fossil, and like, hey, you need to clean up the beach because there's a lot of shells there, and it's like, okay,
sounds like some proper super management there.
Yeah, she's really project managing me, and it's pretty impressive.
I didn't realize you named your daughter Tom Nook.
That's right. Yeah. She does like Tom Nook a lot. She especially likes Timmy and Tommy, the two raccoons. She likes the two raccoons, which is what she calls them. But yeah,
you're gonna go against her will, and you're gonna hear something snap in the background.
Probably. But yeah, I'm having fun. Again, I don't want to talk about it too much because everybody is, but I'm having a good time with it. I did play some more Final Fantasy VII Remake. The part that I'm in is like sucking the life out of me, and I am deep into the wall market section, and I don't like it at all. It is...
You doing all the quests around the area? Is that what it is?
Part of it is... So, I like how Wall Market looks. I like that it's this claustrophobic place. It's super brightly lit. Like, it really looks how you would have thought it would have looked from the original game. And I like going down all these little narrow alleys. There's a whole bunch of hidden stuff all over the place. Like, it's really cool, and it's twisty and turny. But the first quest you have to like go meet the three people to get their approval takes so long, and I'm like running from one end of this twisty turny place to the other to go talk to someone and say like, I'm not interested. Go talk to this other person. It's like, oh my God. So there's just so much, like, this is probably the first place I've felt in this game where I feel like the extra stuff is too much right now. But I did just unlock the Coliseum, and you go through all those fights, and those are really good. And I just fought Hell House, which was an incredible boss fight. Number one, nice to see that thing back. Number two, nice to see it's just as difficult as it was in the original game. I was
worried the first time I went through that area, the collapsed area, going into Wall Market. I'm like, oh man, this thing is gonna pop out of nowhere.
That stupid house with the rocket launchers.
No, it is contained as a boss, and it will still wreck you.
It's so good. I really liked the Coliseum stuff. I went through. I think once I finished it, they said like, oh, you can go down and go do some challenges. I was like, yeah, I'm going and doing that immediately. I think it only gave me 3 challenges right off the bat, so I'm still playing on easy, so I just blew through those. No big deal. So like that stuff is really good. It's just the Wall Market intro stuff is just a real low point for me for this game so far. And I just haven't had a lot of time to play games the last couple of weeks. So this hasn't been a huge priority, unfortunately, which is kind of really bumming me out.
I think the biggest issue with that area is just that it's not so much that it has a lot of quests; it has a lot of sequenced quests.
Yes,
it's like, oh, you've beaten this mandatory part here. You know, you've beaten quest 1. Here's quest 1A.
Yes,
here's 1B.
Right,
and that kind of, because it doesn't really do that in any of the other, parts of this game. It's just this one kind of where it feels like there's a bunch of stuff in here, and it's just you running around.
Yeah, and from a storyline perspective, it makes a lot of sense because you have these 3 main players in the Wall Market that you need to interact with to get to Don Corneo. Like, it's still the same thing as the first game, so I'm not spoiling it for anyone. So it makes sense that you kind of have to. It's the graduation of what you did in 7, where it's like, yeah, you're going to do some random stuff around town, and you had all the pieces for Cloud's dress, but now you have more storyline behind it. It's just a lot all at once. So,
Madam M's personality is pretty awesome.
It's pretty great. Yeah, and Chocobo Sam's voice actor is just chewing the scenery on that. Like, he's the most southern actor.
Like he's straight. Yeah, he sounds like he's straight out of Red Dead Revolver, and it's awesome.
It's really good. But yeah, I'm still enjoying that. I'm having a blast with it on easy, which is really great. Mostly because I just want to see the story stuff. I love the battle system. Like, that's not, before anyone says like, oh, the battle system's great. It is, and it's really good. I'm not in it for the battle system right now. I would almost prefer to like finish it and then try going back through it on hard, so I get like the proper battle system. But yes,
there's a lot of prep you need to do before hard.
Yeah, I mostly want to just like get through it, see all the storyline stuff, and then figure out how much of that the rest of the game I want to do, and figure out if I want to go for the platinum or not. But we'll see. But that's all I'm playing this week. So let's take a break. Let's talk releases for the week of May 18th, 2020. Golf with Your Friends. This leaves early access on PC. Also comes out on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. If you have if you don't follow any content creator on Twitch or YouTube and haven't yet seen this game, it's incredible.
It's insane. It's insane is what it is.
Insane, incredible. It will turn lovers into enemies and enemies into even worse enemies. And it's published by Team 17, the Worms company. So, and I believe the console release has a Worms themed level in it, which I kind of want to see because that sounds insane.
If it doesn't, I'm sorry, if it's related to Team 17 and it doesn't have the voice packs from Worms in it, then I don't care.
That's right.
Because there's nothing quite like a Scouse worm saying, "Victorious!"
It's so
hilarious.
It's so good. It's so good. Wonderful 101 Remastered comes out for PC, Switch, and PS4. I guess if you were a backer on this, they just kind of sent out codes for this a while ago, so there are a lot of impressions out there about this game. So,
yep, I'm really loving the complete lack of Xbox release.
Yeah, just this is a platinum game too, right? Yeah, a lot of other Xbox releases, especially from them.
I seem to remember there was some controversy because if I'm right, this was kickstarted.
Yeah, it was.
And when they started talking about coming to additional consoles, they announced like, "Oh, Switch and PlayStation 4." I didn't talk about the Xbox, and people were mad.
Yeah. Oh boy. Last game here, Saints Row the Third Remastered comes out PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Why?
This one's weird because I almost feel like, why wouldn't you just smush 3 and 4 together? But I almost feel like you maybe can't go home again with this game, and if you haven't played it before, I'm not sure I could recommend it. Open world games.
I could because Saints
It
Row
was awesome for the. Well, it was awesome for the time. But...
Yeah. I still think it's fantastic. The only problem with it is I'm pretty sure Saints Row the Third already came out on current generation platforms.
Yeah.
And they can't remaster 4 because they've already remastered 4.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Why not wait 12 months and release this for a new generation of consoles?
Right. And no word on smart delivery for this one, unfortunately.
Why?
Yeah.
Well,
it's so confusing.
Because the people demanded it. That's why.
That's right. People demanded.
Okay, we just aren't those people.
That's probably true.
And okay, if you're THQ Nordic and you're going to be releasing remasters, you disappointed me right here because you didn't come up with a punny name for it. Because that's your go-to, is punny names. Saints Row 4 Remastered is called Re-Elected.
Yes, which is
Red
good.
Faction Remastered is called Remastered Edition.
Right, which is good and
so
bad.
It sounds like you're a posh person having a little sip of tea while you're doing it. The death game where you play as War.
The Definitive Edition?
Yeah, the Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition.
Yep.
Darksiders 1 War Mastered Edition, not so great. But
they can't all be winners, I guess.
This is what? Saints Row the Third Remastered, come on.
Yeah.
What would you call it?
I don't know. I don't get paid to come up with this stuff.
This one has the dubstep gun remastered.
Yeah, there you go. Dubstep remaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the dubstep remix.
Oh, See, we already did it. Send the check in the mail, THQ Nordic. We know you got the money. You have all of the video games in the industry. So
yes.
Yeah.
We are here for the entire video game community.
That's right. And the money.
All of the money.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about news stories. Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest announcement. First two big ones happened this week. First one was Epic showed off the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo on PS5, which, number one, was really weird because they're like, yes, it will run super well on PC and PS4. And Keighley's like, cool, what about PC and PS5? Keighley's like, what about Xbox Series X? And they're like, yep, PS5. It will run super well over there. And eventually they're like...
AKA, Sony give us a buttload of money to talk about the PlayStation 5 here.
Yeah, there was something weird, but like the next day, Epic's like, yeah, it's going to run on PS5. Why? And it's like, oh my God. Okay. I would highly recommend people go watch. It's like an 18 minutes demo or something like that. It's very heavily focused on triangles and tech and audio and all that stuff. A lot of really, really super impressive stuff. They have like the two systems that they're working together is Nanite and Lumen. Lumen is their sort of global illumination technology. Nanite is the scaling geometry stuff. The whole thing is really great. The audio is super fantastic. They explain all the tech. The thing that I thought was super crazy about this was some of the stuff near the end where they took an asset they imported directly from ZBrush with no additional work. They just imported it straight into UE5 and it reacted to lighting and audio and physics and all that stuff immediately. That was super cool. And then, like, they open a door and they're like, yeah, and here's 500 of them. It's just like, oh, okay. No big deal. So, yeah, Unreal Engine sort of putting in a lot of work again. Okay.
Can we also just get out the way here? Yes, this was a great showing. And yes, technically this was good for PlayStation because they paid to have their name attached to it.
Sure.
And yes, after Microsoft's stumble, we'll say, the other week with their stuff.
Last week, yeah.
It's very smart.
Yep.
Can we also just say, Unreal Engine is not specifically for Sony. Stop saying, haha, Xbox owners, this is all for Sony.
Like, if you don't understand engines, just don't say anything. Like, it will run on PC, PS5, Series X, probably Xbox One, and PS4.
It's gonna run on everything. Yeah. If they don't say Xbox and they specifically turn around and say, yeah, it'll run great on PlayStation. What about PlayStation? Yeah, it will run great on PlayStation.
Right. Yeah,
They're
PS5, that one, yep.
Because they have a check that has 6 zeros after it to say that.
Right. And the one interesting thing that Epic came out with this week's that they're kind of putting their money where their mouth is by saying, hey, when Unreal Engine 5 comes out, we're moving Fortnite to it. Like, we're going to eat our own dog food with this one, and if it really, we're saying it puts out pretty serious improvements, so we're going to move one of the largest games in the world over to this new engine. We'll see you there. They also announced a bunch of licensing stuff that helps indies and stuff like that. They had a whole bunch of really cool announcements alongside, but UE5 looks really great, sort of out of the box, which I think UE4 had a little bit of a hard time with, where it's like, cool, like, yeah, it just looks like another Unreal Engine game. But
that's just because they were too busy getting sued by that guy over the UE3 stuff. Now that that's all done and dusted, hopefully they should focus on the new engine.
That's right.
Dennis Dyack? Was that Dennis Dyack?
That was the Dennis Dyack one, yeah. With the whole Two Human X-Men Legends thing. Yeah. Boy, what a blast from the past that one was. The second Summer Games Fest announcement is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 Remastered. They're doing a good remaster this time, where they are putting all of the courses from both of the games in it, unlike the last time they did it, where they just picked a couple here and there. This will be coming out on PC. It's an Epic Games Store time exclusive, coming out on PS4 and Xbox One. Create a Park will return from Tony Hawk 5, which is a thing that I forgot because rightly no one played that game. Local split screen is going to be coming back because there was a really cool thing where they said this doesn't happen in games anymore, and it's sort of an important part of the Tony Hawk franchise, so we're going to make the engine work with that. Vicarious Visions is doing it. They have access to the original source code for the PS1 game, and they're using that as the framework for the game to make sure that it feels the same, and then kind of modernize some of the stuff. Like, they'll be putting in manuals that didn't come in until
I've already seen a revert in there which didn't come out in until 3 either.
Yeah, so they're like
manuals was 2, reverts was 3.
Okay, so they're like putting all that additional stuff that is sort of part of the Tony Hawk games that wasn't in the original stuff. And most importantly, the majority of the soundtrack is returning. There's I think it's like 3 or 4 tracks they couldn't get. One of them is Bring the Noise, which is kind of a bummer. But they got the majority of the soundtracks for both of them, and it honestly it looks good. Like, it looks like they just sort of just did a remake of those, and as long as it plays well, it's $40 for the two games, and it seems pretty good.
Could this be the game that renews the faith in the Tony Hawk name after the colossal problem that was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5?
I think they could if they put this out and then they stop for like 2 or 3 more years. Like, you can't take this engine and be like, all right, coming out in late 2021, Tony Hawk 6. It's like, nope.
Who's putting this out again?
Vicarious Visions and Activision.
So do we really think they're going to take a break?
Nope. They definitely will not.
Go.
They'll use this engine on mobile. They'll use this engine on... It will be... Yeah.
I'll say, depending on how this sells, you may not hear the name Tony Hawk again for another...
That's right. They're just going to kill Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
You failed another game. Oh, man. All right. And last news story here. Sony did a 20-minute state of play for Ghost of Tsushima for just full-on gameplay for the entire thing. Did either of you guys watch that as well?
Nope.
Yes.
Okay. I liked the Infamous games. This game hasn't really grabbed me yet. Like, all of it looks fine. It cinematically looks cool. I don't think the fighting looks super great on video. I'm sure it feels fine when you play it. It's just one of those games that every time they showed it, and thankfully they showed only gameplay this time, there's something about it that's just not grabbing me.
But it looks like they're pulling from a lot of different franchises. Like, I was getting Witcher vibes, I was getting Assassin's Creed vibes, I was getting a little Souls vibes with the different, stances and parrying and stuff like that. So it looks like they're doing a lot of different things, but the game looks beautiful.
It sure does,
from what they were showing, and some of the systems that they have in there look pretty cool. Like with the navigation, where if you don't know where you're going, hey, you can pop up this thing and the wind will blow to show you.
Yeah, what do they call it? Guiding wind or something? Like, it's one of those.
Something like that.
It's like a natural idiot line where it's like, just go over here, and it's like, oh, thanks, wind.
Yeah.
Click the right stick in and the laser wind will show you where to go.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying they've got elements in there from like Breath of the Wild where it's like they're using landmarkers and things happening in the world for you to be curious about, to say, oh, what's over here?
Right. Or an animal leads you off the trail. And it's, oh, there's a tomb back here.
So they've got a lot of things in here from a lot of different games, which is fine. I just don't know how it'll all come together.
Yeah.
It looked cool. I didn't know a whole lot about the game before I watched this, and watching it has sparked some interest in me.
And thankfully, it only comes out in 2 months. Like, they've shown enough gameplay, I feel like, at the right time, where they've been showing CG stuff and cutscenes and cool arty things, but now they're just like, hey man, here's 20 minutes of gameplay and it comes out in 2 months. So get the pre-orders in there.
All the extra stuff they have in there, where they've got dual audio where you can play in English or Japanese, or you can set the filter so that it looks like an old samurai.
Yeah, it looks like an old Kurosawa film. Yeah. So it looks like they're doing a lot of good things with it. I just don't know how well it will all come together. I think that the thing that I'm going to be really interested in is, once this game comes out, and probably like a couple months after that, what does this look like when Sony starts showing it on PS5? Because this is clearly one of their prestige titles, and you obviously don't want to show it on PS5 right now because they're very much pushing for it on PS4. PS4's install base is huge, and you don't want to eat up that attach rate. But if there's any game that's gonna get like a smart delivery type of patch for PS5, it's this cool cinematic giant open world movie game. I really want to see, because for someone like me that's not super invested in it right off the bat, I could potentially be invested in it when it comes out on PS5, because it should take advantage of, potentially ray tracing and potentially higher frame rate and better resolution and stuff. Like, I could Assassin's Creed Black Flag that on the PS5, where it's like, I don't know if I care about it 100%, but it sure does look super good. I'm excited for them to show that off, but obviously they're not going to do it anytime soon.
It's the same problem they had with Last of Us as well. Like,
yes,
and God of War 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me, or does Sony release big tempo releases right before a new console generation? A lot.
Well, I mean, it's the time.
God of War 2 was its own special thing because everyone's like, oh, you can't do anything else with the PS2. And then this game drops. It's like, this is gorgeous.
How'd you do this? Yeah, I mean, they're smart to launch this kind of swan song of the platform where it's like, look, the PS4 is still really strong. It can still make really great games. You look at some of the stuff in Tsushima and you sort of go like, yeah, we're kind of getting to the end of this life cycle, but it's nothing where it's like, yeah, this game looks real bad. But yeah, I think those are their like 1-2 punch for PS5 eventually to sort of say like, hey, here's what it looked like on PS4. It just came out this year. Here's what it looks like on PS5, sort of right out of the gate. That'll be interesting. Yeah. Hopefully we'll see more stuff about PS5 soon.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe. One day. The day before.
Yeah. Reveal stream on November 15th.
It'll be the Saturn all over again. Hey, guess what? You can buy this today.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Nah, it's a sure way to kill a console. They've learned that by now.
Yeah. Well, and there's that rumor floating around. Not rumor, but like Michael Pachter is out there flapping his gums about the Series X potentially launching at $400. And it's like, look, that would be incredible. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen.
If Microsoft want to make a statement.
If Microsoft wants to flop it on the table and say like, look, our brand new hyper-powered console is $400 US. It's like, okay, great, cool. Your move, Sony.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of Pachter, but he has been right occasionally.
Sure. I mean, blind squirrel nut, etc. So, let's move on to questions here. T-Bomb Rocks asked us some questions. I was talking to a friend about licensed video games around the PS1, PS2 era. A game I almost forgot about came up, and we agreed that it was the best use of a license in a video game. That game was 24 on the PS2. The introduction of each mission and all throughout the game is exactly like the show, from the ticking clock to multi-fast camera angles, and then focusing on one. Can you think of any other games that use a property to the fullest? Over to you, Moonpear.
Yup. Let's go through my list because I got a lot of things to say about this. Let's talk first and foremost about Star Wars. Do we going to go with the old Dash Rendar N64 special? No, we're going to go KOTOR. That's a great use of the license.
KOTOR is a great game because it wasn't a movie recap.
It's a license. It's not a movie license. That's the big thing. Let's talk about The Walking Dead Series 1. Possibly one of the most emotionally I've ever been invested in a video game, period.
Yep.
Let's talk about Batman, the Arkham trilogy, and the fourth one that nobody really talks about. Let's talk about The Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. One of the best games ever made.
Yep.
GoldenEye 007. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right.
There's another great one. And then obviously you got the Marvel ones. Do we want to talk about Spider-Man 2018? One of the best games made recently. Also, we've got the perennial favorite of Mr. Boston over here. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of those. Like, there's a whole bunch of games leading up to that point where it's like, oh, X-Men Children of the Atom. And it's like, yeah, I kind of see where you're going. And then that landed on Dreamcast. I was like, yeah, all right. Yeah, you finally figured it out. Like, I'm going to be playing this for pretty much the entire time I was in college.
Yeah. I will say the most underrated one I can think about is probably Simpsons Hit and Run.
That's a great game. History has remembered that fondly, thankfully.
Yes, and it got trashed when it came out, but that is a genuinely good arcade kind of GTA style game.
Yep.
Where it's just when that came out, Simpsons was still good.
Right.
Let's get that out the way.
That's how long ago it came out.
And you didn't know the geography of the town. You just didn't. You didn't know where Moe's was compared with the house and where the Quickie Mart was, in location to everything else. And all of a sudden, it's right there, and you can drive around it in stupid cars, including Homer's car.
That's right. Well, and I think part of the backlash against that game was the really terrible South Park games that came out on like N64 and Dreamcast. So when that came out on PS2 and original Xbox, I think, everyone was like, why would I play another one of these licensed cartoon driving games? I was like, well, you screwed up because that one was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember a lot of people complaining that it was basically just a kiddie GTA ripoff.
It was, yeah.
That was the
fine.
massive complaint that I remembered.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Because everybody wanted their blood and guts. Nobody wanted to just, throw donuts and stuff. And I'm not going to lie, the South Park shoot 'em up that came out on the N64, I was like 9 when that came out, and that was great when I was 9.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not 9 anymore, and that's not so great anymore.
Right. I feel like we talk about the Lego games so much that they're not even really licensed things anymore. They're like 2 or 3 licenses.
That's a double header because that's a double license and they're still great.
Yep. God, what else lately? Does Alien Isolation count?
Novels out there.
Yeah, Jimbo Jangles asked, does Alien Isolation count? Yeah.
Yes.
I'd say that's
100%.
a licensed property. There was that. This is a really weird one. The Mummy Demastered.
I was going to say that. I was just thinking about I'm going to wait for a break and I'm going to mention the Mummy Demastered.
Yeah.
That's one of the weirdest licensing games ever.
Yeah, and it kind of worked.
I bought that yesterday. It was in the store on sale for like $11 or something.
Dude, it's really good.
So when we recorded Game Club, we really liked the game, but we had like this laundry list of little issues throughout the game.
I forgot about this.
Literally the next day after the episode came out,
the patch hit.
They put out a huge patch. They fixed literally all of those complaints. It's like, okay, cool. So, yeah, that game is really good. Yeah.
I mean, sports games are sports games. They are going to be what they're going to be.
I'm trying to think of anything more recent like Mummy Demastered that's one of those things that's surprisingly good.
Obviously not for me, but from everything I've seen about it, the Rick and Morty VR game is incredible.
Sure,
but obviously that's not designed for me.
No,
and that's
fine. Shadow Complex technically is, but I don't think anything else came out of that.
Doesn't count. Go away.
Yeah.
It doesn't
count. I also don't want to mention that human pile of garbage that originally wrote it. So,
Scott Pilgrim game is a good call from Jimbo.
Oh God, the Scott Pilgrim game. Somebody. Can we get Xbox 360 emulation working a little bit better? Because more people need to play that game, and it is gone forever now. I'm sure somebody has a backed up copy somewhere.
I'm pretty sure I still have it installed on my 360.
I think I do too. I was just looking at. I just have 2 360s here in a stack back here. No big deal.
Other good licenses.
Oh, here's a weird one. Beatles Rock Band.
Yeah. I
don't like the Beatles.
That made me appreciate what the Beatles do.
Yeah, and I feel like they really captured like the look and the feel of everything around the music for the eras.
Going through that campaign as well, like seeing the evolution of the songs as they came out and the style that they made. Like,
super cool.
That was a fantastic presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it's kind of licensed, but the 2D wrestling game that I can never remember the name of. No, Foghorn's not till later. Ignore that one.
It's a false
Hold on. I have a window open here somewhere. No, don't open Steam. Because Fire Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
They have a New Japan Pro Wrestling license in there now, so they have licensed wrestlers. But also, it has one of the most robust character customizers ever, and the not so licensed wrestlers always find a way to make their way in there.
That's right. My last one is one that just got announced. The golf club team is now making PGA 2K20.
Wait, what? Is that actually the golf club team?
It is, yeah. So they had the PGA license in the Golf Club 2, but the game wasn't branded that, and the next one is just going to be, I think it's called PGA 2K20.
If it's got the... wait.
There's a lot confusing there.
I'm sorry, I'm confused because it has 2K in there, and 2K makes me think of, 2K. And I'm pretty sure they're pretty strict about people using that type of branding unless they work for them.
Yeah, it's coming out in August. Yeah, PGA
2K
Tour
publishing
2K.
it?
Sorry, PGA Tour 2K21 comes out PS4, PS5, Series X, Xbox One, and Series X. Hold on, something's playing. Yeah, it's published by 2K Sports. Yeah,
And developed by the golf club people.
yeah, developed by. Oh, it's coming on Google Stadia too.
Yay.
Yeah, this realsport101.com. Yeah, don't just put out don't just reprint the press release. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's from the same company because they were making a big deal of them making like the big deal was, yo, it's the golf club people making us.
So, I mean, what my instinct was correct. 2K are still sitting on that branding like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But if they're giving a bunch of money to that team to make it, then good for them.
Yeah. And it's sort of funny because you would almost think they would keep going with the golf club franchise because that's been doing really well.
It's been getting some steam.
Yeah, but I guess there's nothing better than, hey, here's a PGA game and it's a 2K game. Like, I think you get that sort of 1-2 punch there.
And here is a big fat check so you can develop our game for us.
That's right. T-Bomb Rock's other question here. Now that Moon's plan of spamming invites to M and Britbill finally paying off after 2 years of the crew.
I only did one of those.
That's right. There was this halo effect. It made me wonder, what are some games that took forever to get a friend in, but after they tried it, they ended up enjoying the game?
Dead by Daylight, my wife. She loved that game for like a good 18 months before I ever touched it. And then I started playing it a little bit, fell off it, and then before you know it, I can't stop playing it, and she has stopped playing it because she burnt herself out.
Yeah.
Oops.
I think for me, it was roping the Hannah into Destiny 2. So I'm like, look, it's on sale. There's a bonus. You can hop in on the new content. And then that kind of started a problem for all three of us. All three of us in the Destiny crew.
Mm-hmm.
I think mine was roping some friends into playing Dark Souls, just so that we can make fun of them while they stream.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone sucks their first time playing, so
yeah,
whatever. But
it's good content too.
Yeah.
PGA Tour 2K21 is developed by HB Studios, the golf club team.
Perfect. I thought I had seen that. I was like, ooh, hello. Maybe it will be a little bit more accessible this time.
There already talks about premium currency in the game, just to tamper down everyone's expectation a little bit.
Okay.
So, expect the 2K, literal 2K slot machine in the we don't do gambling microtransactions rule.
There's a slot machine in your clubhouse, yeah. 2K giveth and 2K taketh away.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my wife doesn't play games I recommend to her because my opinion cannot be trusted when it comes to games or movies, apparently.
I was going to say, you could probably just drop the end of that where it's like, Moonpier can't be trusted. It's like, wait a minute.
Yes.
I can't think of anything. Have you guys roped anybody into the massive problem that is Elite Dangerous?
My wife.
I have, yeah. But yeah, we don't talk about that.
We don't talk to them anymore.
We just don't talk about the game whose name shall not be spoken.
That's right.
I think
it's like heroin for some people, where it's like, no, man, I'm not interested, and then you get them like, here, I bought you the game, try it out, and then you don't hear from them for a week.
It's that free trial of World of Warcraft in 2006 where you're like, oh no, it's got me.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like Boston got me into Isaac.
Yeah.
Like, you are responsible for me playing that game. I'm responsible probably for Rob and T playing Dead by Daylight because they did the same thing I did, played it, bounced off it, stopped, and then all of a sudden we're getting into it.
And The Binding of Isaac, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we should use the power of persuasion and get Boston to play Elite Dangerous.
Man, I can't.
Because the funny thing is,
Yeah, you can.
it would 1000% be one of those games for you.
And that's why I can't.
And you can watch it with your daughter.
You can teach her about space.
Brett, that's great. She loves space.
Plus, you can watch stuff while playing the game. And if
true.
you're doing long hauls, you can probably edit podcasts while you're jumping between systems.
You can watch Bubble Guppies while I'm in space. It'd be great.
Exactly.
I'm just saying it might be a good fit, you know?
Might be. Who knows? We'll never know, unfortunately.
So, do you want to get him the HOTAS or do you want to get him the
Son of a... Only one of you knows my address.
Yes.
Oh,
Cough,
good.
cough.
Okay.
Wait, no.
Boom. Talk to you later.
Okay, sounds good.
No. Oh, man. All right. On that note, that's our episode for this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M on the ones or numbers. Critical Misses, Old Dog New Flicks, Outcast, early access to We Roguelike It. There's so much stuff that I keep forgetting stuff on that page. Patreon.com/E1M1. Come join us on the Discord server. I don't always do a great job of promoting that. We have the best community on the internet. I don't want to hear anything to the contrary. They're all over there on the Discord server. I just opened a channel for Animal Crossing. So if you want to share your turnip prices on the stock market, then you can do so over there, and we'll visit each other's islands and do something. I don't know what.
I didn't realize how many people we had playing until you opened that.
Yeah.
And just like everyone came out of the woodwork.
I didn't either. Someone had said like, hey, we should open that channel. I was like, yeah, man, sure, why not? There's like 2 or 3 of us, and there were way more of us than that. So
Yup.
good. Thank you.
Go check out my wife's museum. It's cool as hell. Go to her island and visit it for a little bit. I know you did some exploring while she was playing something else.
Yeah, she invited me over to our island because I needed...
It was the Stardust event.
Yeah, stars, and I think I some fruit, maybe. A bunch of stuff. She had a whole spread out of very generous gifts for people during the meteor shower, and I thought that was very nice. Merchandise. There's a link to our merch store on the right-hand side of the page. And I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye-bye.
Now you're getting better. See you guys later.
Oh, boy. All right, what? Ooh, we're running out of time. All right, Nimp, hit me with your titles.
You might be.
100%.
I have the movie of many names. A sniff of my wife's island.
Phrasing.
Yeah, it's like the most non sequitur, but I really can't, I have to veto that one.
You know, I've told you before, I don't say these out loud just so that they cannot be vetoed. I say them so that they are in history at the end of the show.
Yes.
I appreciate it, and it's such a good non sequitur.
I think I've got a veto one today as well, so we're all good.
Okay.
Yeah. Their final destination.
Jeez. Boo.
Don't go into the clown clinic. That machine is very strong. This is ... different. The M rule.
Yep.
Guide button roulette.
Yep.
Shifty penguins. Moon can't be trusted.
Wait, no, that can't be a title.
And
Veto.
bubble guppies in space.
There you go. Moon, what do you have? Also, Jimbo Jangle says probably a veto, but flop it on the table. Sadly, yes.
That's the one I have.
Okay. Double veto.
Healed, not healed, or dead.
Mm-hmm.
This hospital sucks. A little bit mean. Bink and it's gone. The Emerald Guide Button Roulette. Haven't played Jack. The Longest Dungeon. Shifty Looking Penguins. Dude with 2 O's. Kill Tony Hawk. Flop it on the table. And The Power of Persuasion.
I think I think our lawyers would probably have to veto Kill Tony Hawk as well. I have role-playing as a delivery service, the M-Rule and Guide Button Roulette.
Honestly, for me, it's either M-Rule or Guide Button Roulette out of those three. I really like flopping on the table. I know it ain't going to get chosen.
My vote is for Guide Button Roulette. I think that's a really fun one.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, let's circle it. Easy. All right, let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm going to steal that, so yes. No, I don't know. Who knows? I'll fucking think of something. Damn it, I swore. Boston.
At symbol
2 hours and 24 seconds on my timeline.
44.
I really love how we go from one swear, realize it, to swear again.
Moon,
it's just like
arrow, F-bomb.
And a GD right after it.
Circle. Oh, I thought you only said damn, but okay.
I don't know. I might
Plus
have got away with a GD. Okay.
Oh, that's a good title. Plus GD.
Yeah. F-bomb plus GD.
Okay.
All right, so we're going with roulette, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I am ready whenever you guys are.
I'm not, but just go.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 656 for May 18th, 2018. Nope. That was 2 years ago.
Can we change the title to Nope, that was 2 years ago?
Oh my god. All right.
Hey, Jimbo, knock that off, Jimbo.
Hey, you can trust Moon. Take 2, 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 656 for May 18th, 2020. Guide Button Roulette.
Round and round and round it goes.
Bets are off. Nobody wins.
Oh, man. Okay. We knew when we started We Roguelike It this week, earlier today, this is going to be a real weird day. And it definitely was. Jesus. All right, thank you so much. Ton of people in chat hanging out, chatting and watching us live. Always happy to see Jimbo Jangles. We've got Chris H in there as well. Thanks so much. I hope we'll see you guys next week. Bye. And we're going to stop recording.